Today, I'm going to break down 5 secret pro tips you can use to improve your run game in College Football 25. These tips will work no matter what playbook you use or what mode you play, so I can guarantee you after watching this video, your run game is going to be improved dramatically. So tip number 1 is know your run fits. Run fits essentially will show which defenders are going to immediately react to the run once the ball is snapped. Now, it is very important to know what the defense's run fits are because then you will know which runs will attack each defense better. Every defense has a different run fit. So, for example, a cover 2 will have a different run fit than, say, a cover 2 man, cover 4, etc. Now, seeing the run fits of the defense is quite easy. If you simply hit the R2 or RT and flick up on the right analog stick, it is going to show the play art of the pass coverage and blitz assignments. If you actually want to see the run fits, simply hold down both triggers, R2, RT, or L2 and R2, and then hit the square button, and this will show the run fits if you are to run to the left. Now, if you want to see run fits for running right, you're still going to hold down both triggers, or L2 and R2, and then hit the circle button. And you'll see that the defenders that have lines underneath them, they are in run fits. If you don't have a line underneath you, you're not in a run fit. The more defenders in a run fit, the better for the defense. Now, with cover 2, because the outside corners are typically in run fits but not the safeties, that means that cover 2 has a better chance of stopping outside runs, but it's going to get cooked by the inside runs like you see here. Now let's look at the run fits of a cover 3. In my opinion, cover 3 is the worst run defense in the game, because if you look at the run fits, all you really have is the front 7 in a run fit, and then that one safety in a box. So you're vulnerable both, honestly, inside and out. All sorts of runs can beat you when you're in cover 3. There's really not a good strength to defending the run in cover 3. Now let's look at the run fits of a cover 4. Cover 4 is one of the better run defenses in the game because what you'll notice is the safeties will react immediately against the run in the run fit. This makes cover 4 really good against inside runs. It's still even pretty solid against outside runs. However, I will say outside runs are the one area I would look to attack because if you can get to the perimeter, you can get some big gains because the safeties are running down immediately trying to be aggressive against the run. If you can get to the outside, you might have a big run. Now let's look at cover 0. In my opinion, cover 0 is the best run defense in the game. If you look at the run fits, it's very similar to cover 4 in that the safeties are attacking in the run fit, but it's a bit more aggressive because every defender is literally blitzing or manned up in cover 0, which can lead to a lot of stops in the backfield like this. Now, there are some ways you can attack cover 0, which we'll get to later in the video. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a like on the video. Now let's move on to the next tip, which is one of my favorites, and it's how to use motion in the run game to create an advantage. You can use motion whether the defense is in man or zone to gain an extra blocker. Now here you see the defense is in cover 2. And typically with any sort of zone defense, if you send a receiver across the formation in motion, the defender on that side of the field will not follow him across the formation. So in zone, if you motion a player across the formation to the side you want to run the ball to, you will essentially gain an extra number in your blocking because now you can see we got the receiver over there to block the corner on the right and no defender followed him. So now we have an extra blocker over there to help us get the corner, potentially make that last guy miss, and get a big gain. Now, if the defense is in some sort of man coverage, we can still use motion to gain an advantage, but kind of in reverse. So what we're going to do here is we can see the defense looks like they're in man because they got these defenders lined up right over my receivers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the right analog stick to playmaker this run to the side of the 2 receivers, and then I'm going to send this outside receiver in motion across the formation, and because it's man coverage, he will take his defender with him, which then clears out that side to where all I got to do is have 4 hold his block for a split second, and we should be off to the races for a big run. Remember, motion is your friend in the run game. So let's move on to my next tip, which I alluded to earlier, which is how to kill cover 0 or really any man-to-man run defense in the game. So these defenses can be good, but they have a big weakness, and that is if you want to get better at college football 25 and win more games, check out my college football VIP membership on sportsgamerz.com. Put the link to order in the comments and the description. You will get access to all the content I release for college football all year long, including the best offense in the game, the best defense in the game, my secret A-gap blitzes, my rollout glitch, my run defense, and my pass defense, and much more. Let's dominate together, boys. Is runoffs. What is a runoff? It's that assignment you see on this run play that the 2 receivers on the left and the 1 receiver on the right have. Anytime you see a receiver when you look at your running plays play art that has about a 10-yard gray vertical line down the field, that is a runoff. And what's going to happen is whichever defender is in man coverage on the players that have the runoffs, they're going to basically ignore the run until you're about 10-ish yards downfield. So it's basically free yardage. So in this example, I got 2 receivers with runoffs to the left. So I want to run that way because I know that those defenders over there are not going to do a good job reacting to the run. And I'm able to get around the edge for a free touchdown. Now keep in mind, you can find these runoff assignments to your receivers in a lot of different plays in your playbook. But I do prefer using them on outside runs, such as outside zones, stretches, wide zones, etc. the most, just like I do here. And you guys can see that safety was literally running 20 yards downfield with no awareness to the ball. I did get tackled by a defender in pursuit from behind, but you can see you have big play, home run potential with these runs. This leads me to my next tip, which is extremely underrated. When you are running the ball, you want to run the ball and hand the ball off with your quarterback's dominant hand. And what that means is if the quarterback is right-handed, when you're in shotgun, you want to run runs to where the running back is lined up to the right of the quarterback, because since he's right-handed, if the running back's to the right of the quarterback, he's going to hand the ball off with his right hand, and it's going to be a faster handoff. And what this does is it allows you to get the ball and get upfield quicker. What you're going to notice is if you hand the ball off with your quarterback's non-dominant hand, it's going to be a slightly slower animation. And even against bad run defenses like this, that can just lead to defenders getting into the gap much quicker. And you guys can see the difference there. That's a several yard difference because of the slower handoff. So my final tip, and one I see a whole lot of players struggle with and mess up on, is don't abuse turbo. And what this means is do not use turbo until you're in the open field. If you use turbo behind the line of scrimmage, or when you're basically trying to set up your blocks, you're going to mess everything up and your guys are going to get shedded because you're not letting your blockers hold their blocks when you're using turbo. You're just zooming by them too fast. You guys can see here, I'm not using turbo until the last second, and that allowed me to get a big run. So here, I'm going to run against the same exact defense, and this time, I'm going to hold turbo as soon as I get the ball. And what you'll notice is that defender pushes the lineman into the backfield. I run right into him, and I get nothing. That's because I was smashing turbo. I had less control of my running back to avoid the defender, but also, I didn't give my linemen and blockers enough of a chance to even hold their block.